So tell me some of the highlights.
Oh, the highlights.
Yeah, tournaments that you've played in, like times that you remember.
Yeah. Some of the highlights is I won nationals with my partner at the time, Max Purcell. Now he's the current Wimbledon doubles champion. So he'll go down in history. Like his name's carved into Wimbledon. Probably like what a lot of people say the greatest tournament of all time is. Also won a doubles title with Alex de Minaur, who's number 20 in the world right now.
Wow.
So he's making millions of dollars. He's sponsored by all the big brands. So those are some highlights, and then I just remember like winning a couple matches that meant like a lot to me as a junior as well, and in college, like a couple matches that you really remember for some reason. It was special. Maybe you played really well. You executed on something you've been working on. So there's some good highlights there, and
Yeah. And do you ever find that like your sort of self-worth was tied to whether or not you won or lost?
That's a deep question.
Because like the whole world is judging you, like your coaches, how they treat you depends on this, and it's so hard to not internalize it.
No, that is true. I think that is a thing actually, yeah, because I think the guys in my team who weren't doing so well, their confidence kind of reflects it, and how they carry themselves. Like their ego just gets smaller and smaller, and for athletes, ego is a massive thing. It's how other people perceive you, it's how you perceive yourself, and to be really good at a sport, like you do have to be selfish and have a massive ego.
Yeah.
And when you're not winning, your ego deflates, and it kind of does tie back to your self-worth, because again, it's a business. Your self-worth, if you're winning, is really high. If you're losing, it's really low. But some people feel that pressure more than others. I've always felt like I was just playing for myself, which is why I didn't really feel the pressure. But some people feel like they're playing for the whole team. They're playing to keep their scholarship. Like they don't want to let down anyone else, let down their coach. And I think those are the people that like really struggle, because it's just like so much pressure. Yeah.
And let's talk about like how do you deal with the bad days? What's your de-stressor? Because usually if people, they'll just say a sports, but when your career is the sport, then surely you don't hit a few balls to de-stress, right?
Yeah, sometimes you actually do. Yeah, just without like any results, you just go out there and
smack it against the wall or something.
hit some balls, take your anger out, just like kind of relax. No, that's a good question. On the bad days, you don't really get a chance to have a bad day, because like you have to train 35 hours a week, like it's in your contract. And so that means you're practicing every day. So you get to practice no matter what. If you're feeling like not too good, if you're like a little bit injured, that's the other thing. They make you play when you're injured. They don't really care about your well-being. So yeah, you can't really afford any bad days. If you're hungover, still got to play.
Yeah. Wow, but sounds like you sort of copped it well, man. Like.
Yeah, no, I learned a lot of lessons, because you're in this situation that's quite difficult to deal with, especially like being there by yourself at such a young age.
Yeah, so vulnerable, man.
Yeah, you learn a lot of things really quickly because you're kind of forced to. But it was a great experience. Like I'm not hating on it or anything. Like it was an amazing experience, and the good times, like the memories of just bonding with your teammates. That's probably one of the best things. Like now I have friends from like France, Spain, Argentina who are in my team, and you go through that like tough training together, and dealing with the bad days, the bad losses, the high highs, the good wins, and you just like become really close.
It's like just a package deal.
Yeah, it is. You get the good, but you also get the bad.
But the bad is so bad, but the good is so good.
Yeah, the good still outweighs the bad. So I'd recommend that anyone should go to college.
Yeah,
100%,
okay, cool.